Hello students, in today's class we are going to discuss opioid analgesics or narcotic analgesics. So we will begin the class with the definition of analgesics. Analgesics or anti-nociceptives, or in simple language which we call the painkillers. The analgesics are agents that relieve pain by acting in the CNS or on peripheral pain mechanism without significantly altering the consciousness. It means analgesics are drugs which are used for the treatment of pain, but they do not alter the consciousness of the patient. They may act via the opioid receptors, or they may act peripherally into the body, but they do not interfere with the consciousness of the patient. Because as we know, the general anesthetic or local anesthetic also reduce the pain, they also abolish the pain, they also produce the stage of analgesia. But as the general anesthetic produce the analgesia, they also um, abolish the consciousness of the patient. So general anesthetics do abolish the pain, but they also abolish the consciousness, so they are not considered as analgesic. While the local anesthetic, they also abolish the pain in a particular region where they are administered, but they also abolish the sensation in that particular region. So they are also not considered into the definition of analgesics. Analgesics are the drugs which simply reduce the pain, but they do not interfere with the consciousness or the sensory system of the body. So first we have to learn about the pain. What is pain or algesia? So pain basically is an ill-defined, unpleasant sensation which is usually evoked by an external or internal noxious stimulus. It means pain is basically a unpleasant feeling or sensation which is provoked by any harmful stimulus, which can be internal or external. Pain is actually a warning signal. It is a warning signal that something damaging is happening into the body. So pain is just a warning signal, and it serves protective purpose, but it causes discomfort. That's why we need to manage the pain. So for the management of pain, we will use the analgesics, and we can divide the analgesics into the two major classes. The first one is opioid analgesic or narcotic analgesics, which mainly act through the opioid receptors. And the second class is non-opioid analgesic or non-narcotic analgesic or aspirin-like compounds, or which we also known as non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. So the second category, the non-opioid category, it basically act by inhibiting the COX enzyme, and thus by inhibiting the production of prostaglandins and other inflammatory mediators. The second category is mainly effective in the management of inflammatory condition and inflammatory pain. But in case of severe pain, we have to use the opioid analgesic, because they do offer a strong analgesic property also, although they have some disadvantages which we discuss later. So in today's class, now we will begin the opioid analgesics. So opioid analgesics are the drugs which can be synthetic or semi-synthetic or of natural origin, but which produce morphine like actions, like relief of pain and depression of CNS. It means opioid analgesics are the drugs which produce morphine like actions, like relief of pain and depression of CNS, are called opioid analgesics. We can also define opioid analgesics as the drug which shows their analgesic action via opioid receptors. So, what are the opioid receptors? Opioid receptors are of three kinds. The first one is mu receptor, the second is kappa receptor, and the third one is delta receptor or sigma receptor. Although opioid analgesic produce a very strong analgesic effect, but they may also cause sleep in conjunction with their analgesic effect. But these opioid analgesic also have some disadvantages, like the opioid analgesic produce respiratory depression. They simply, like morphine is very strongly produce respiratory depression. It is strongly decrease the gastrointestinal motility, which cause constipation into the patients, and it increase biliary tract pressure, and it also produce pertussis due to the release of histamine. So as we can see, the opioid analgesics or narcotic analgesic also have some disadvantages, although some of the side effects are used therapeutically with certain agents which we have developed through the structure activity relationship of morphine molecule. So if we talk about the therapeutic uses of opioid analgesics, so some major therapeutic uses are the management of acute, chronic and severe pain, especially in the case of acute myocardial infarction or obstructive analgesia. uh, Opioid analgesics, some agents of the opioid analgesic category or the morphinian category also used in the treatment of cough, because they simply cause the cough suppression, and due to their effect on gastrointestinal motility, as I have told you, the morphine reduce the gastrointestinal motility. Some of the opioid agents are also used in the treatment of diarrhea. So now we will discuss the chemical classification of opioid analgesics. So in chemical classification of opioid analgesics, we have first category, which is morphine and its analog. Here the standard compound is considered, morphine is considered as a standard compound. As we can see, this is the morphine. In this category we have morphine, we have codeine, and we have heroin. Heroin is simply the diacetylated morphine, which is no longer sold as a drug because of its highly addictive properties or its highly euphoric effect. It is no longer used as a drug. The second category in the classification is meperidine analog, in which we have meperidine, aniridine, fentanyl and diphenoxylate. And as we can see in this category, we have the four drugs, that meperidine, aniridine and fentanyl and diphenoxylate. The first three drugs, that is meperidine, aniline and fentanyl, these three drugs are opioid analgesic. They are used for the treatment of severe to moderate pain, but the diphenoxylate is not used as an analgesic. It is used in the management of diarrhea or in the treatment of diarrhea, because it have very strong antidiarrheal effect, because it simply reduce the gastrointestinal motility. So, and it lack of analgesic effect. So diphenoxylate is mainly used as an antidiarrheal drug. The next congener in this category is loperamide, which is again used as an antidiarrheal drug. It is not used as a analgesic. It lack analgesic property, but it is used as an antidiarrheal drug because it reduces the gastrointestinal motility. So it is loperamide and diphenoxylate are used as antidiarrheal drug or in the management of diarrhea, while rest of the drug of this category are used as analgesic. The next category we have the methadone analog, in which we have methadone and propoxyphene. So these two drugs are again analgesic in nature, and if we talk about specifically the propoxyphene, it is also used um, for the withdrawal management of morphine or morphinian compound in the addictive subjects. So it is also used in the withdrawal management of morphine. The propoxyphene is used for the purpose. The next category we have is the morphinian analog, in which we have levorphanol and dextromethorphan. The levorphanol is again analgesic compound, while the dextromethorphan is used because of its cough suppressing properties. So it is mainly used in the treatment of cough. In the cough syrup, it is a widely used ingredient. Dextromethorphan, it does not produce the analgesic effect. It mainly produces the cough suppression, so it is used in the treatment of cough. The next category we have is the benzosine derivative or morphine analog, in which we have the pentazocine and phenazocine. This pentazocine is basically a agonist antagonist compound, and this produce analgesic effect, and it is used as analgesic, especially in the visceral pain it is used. This pentazocine is basically act as a agonist on the kappa receptor, while it act as antagonist on the mu receptor. So it is a agonist antagonist compound, and these type of compounds are sometimes preferred because they have reduced risk of respiratory depression. So sometimes we do prefer these kind of compound which are agonist antagonist in nature, like the pentazocine, which is agonist on kappa receptor while it is antagonist on the mu receptor. And next we have the miscellaneous category, in which we have the tramadol and tilidin, which both are very good analgesic agent in the management of visceral pain. So now we will discuss the general mode of action or general mechanism of action of opioid agonists, which we have already discussed in to the classification of the opioid analgesics. So as I have told you, the opioid analgesic shows their effect by activation of opioid receptor, or we can say they act as agonist on the opioid receptor. And opioid receptors are of three kinds: the mu receptor, kappa receptor, and delta receptor, and all three are G protein coupled receptor, which are mainly situated pre-junctionally on the neurons, and they exert inhibitory modulation by decreasing the release of different mediator and neurotransmitters like norepinephrine, dopamine, 5-hydroxytryptamine, and glutamate, and endorphins. They simply reduce the release of junctional transmitters, and this is basically achieved by what the when the agonist bind to the opioid receptor, what it does, it simply reduce the formation of cyclic AMP. It cause opening of potassium channel, which cause hyperpolarization, and also suppress the voltage gated and type calcium channel, which also produce hyperpolarization. And due to this hyperpolarization in synaptic junction, the release of neurotransmitters is decreased by CNS and my enteric neurons. So what the opioid agonist simply does, they bind on their receptor, which are mu receptor, kappa receptor, and delta receptor. And what they does here, uh, they simply cause the opening of potassium channel, which cause hyperpolarization. They simply suppress the calcium channel, and what they does, they simply decrease the formation of cyclic AMP, and all three effects leads to the hyperpolarization into the neuron, which ultimately leads to the decreased release of different mediators and neurotransmitters. As we can see in this figure, here we can see it much betterly. Here we have represent the all kind of opioid receptor, which are delta, mu and kappa receptor, and when the opioid agonist bind on it, if a receptor mainly act on mu and delta receptor, what it does, it cause the opening of potassium channel, which cause the outflow of potassium channel and cause the hyperpolarization into the cell. And if it mainly acts on kappa, what the kappa activation does, it simply suppress the calcium channel, which inhibit the entrance of calcium ion into the cell, and which also cause the hyperpolarization. And if a agonist mainly act on mu and delta, it also cause uh, decrement in the formation or reduced formation of cyclic AMP, which ultimately lead to the decreased release of neurotransmitters. So mainly opioid agonist or opioid analgesics work through this mechanism. They simply bind on their receptor, which is delta receptor, mu receptor or kappa receptor, and what they does there, they simply cause the opening of potassium channel, they suppress the calcium channel, and they decrease the formation of cyclic AMP, and all these three effects cause the hyperpolarization, and which leads to the decreased release of neurotransmitter and different mediators, which is responsible for their analgesic effect. So this is all for today's class. Thank you.